So, hi everybody. We're excited to have Frankly Keto on. Frank, thanks for coming on the CanDo Podcast. I want to tell you, you're the first person to come on the CanDo Podcast because
Oh,
life is
really?
all about what you can do, not what you can't. So I'm so
Okay.
excited to have you on, Frank. Your story is incredible. Thank you so much for your time today. It's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm honored to be your first guest. So thanks for having me.
Yes, well, I'm honored to have you. You've done such an incredible job with your journey on keto. What is it? Lost over 140 pounds over a 2 year time frame. Tell me about that.
136, and it'll be 3 years in February. February 10th will be 3 years I've been doing it. So first year I lost about 75 or 80 pounds the first year, and then I've lost the rest since then. So yeah,
Incredible.
it's been crazy. A wild ride.
Yeah. How did you fall into keto? For me, it was just like I noticed what I was putting into my body and was taking out, and I just used Google and all those online resources and just said, "Holy moly, I'm following the keto diet." I saw the movie The Magic
Yeah,
Pill, and
I
you
saw
know
that.
I was just so excited and saw the benefits and just started feeling great.
I stumbled across it. I had gone to a doctor's appointment in January 2018 and was told that I was diabetic. And she then weighed me, and I weighed 378 pounds, and I was like kind of stunned. I was in shock because I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize I weighed that much. Because you kind of like go in denial. You look in the mirror, you don't realize, you just kind of like, my clothes are getting bigger, whatever.
Right.
But when she said I was diabetic, this had been the second time that I had officially been diabetic. The first time was a few years before that, and I reversed it with a regular low fat diet. I did low fat and lost some weight, and I was back to pre diabetic. And I had been pre diabetic for years. Like I could not get out of being pre diabetic. So she's like, "You're diabetic. I want to put you on medicine." And I was like, "I don't want to go on medicine for this." So I was actually going to start some kind of like those home delivery programs where they send you food in the mail. I was going to do that, and then a few weeks later, somebody had told me about keto. Said that a client of theirs had lost 25 pounds and thought maybe she knew that I wanted to lose weight, so she suggested it. So I started Googling it, and I was like, oh, it's low carb. Okay. I had done like Atkins years prior, so it wasn't
Yep.
unfamiliar. And I kind of like stepped into it little by little. I was doing like one meal would be low carb, but then I would eat a normal dinner. And a friend of mine was like, that's not keto. You either stay low carb or you don't do low carb. You have to do it full on. So I just committed. I was like, all right, I'm keto. So I just cut out. My first thing was just cut out the bread, pasta, sugar, the rice, and just keep it as low carb as I could, and that's how I started. And I started to feel my clothes get looser. The first few weeks were rough. I was tired. I was tired, but I couldn't sleep. So all day long, I was so tired, but then at night, I couldn't sleep. And then eventually it just kind of flip flopped and I started sleeping better. I started having energy, so it's been the best thing I've done for my health, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's amazing too. Like when you get started, you start off slow and you feel that keto flu, but then you get the momentum. Talk
Yeah.
about how again the confidence. You started to lose a little bit of weight, and then started to continue on that slide. And talk to me how great it felt.
Yeah. So my starting weight I used from my doctor's appointment, and I was afraid to weigh myself. Like I knew I didn't lose anything since that appointment. It had only been a few weeks. So I didn't even want to weigh myself. But my shirt started to feel looser. My pants were feeling looser. And I was like, wow, this might be working for me. And I started to feel more energy and all that. And I was just like, wow, because the first few weeks, like I said, I was tired. I couldn't sleep. I had headaches and stuff like that, just because you're getting rid of all that carb withdrawal, and then I just started to feel good. And I was like, I'm going to weigh myself. So it was probably like 3 or 4 weeks after I started, and I weighed myself and I was down like 15 or 20 pounds. I was like,
Holy
wow, that's
cow.
awesome. Yeah, I was like, that's awesome. I was like, because the most I thought I would lose would be 20 pounds. And then I would like get off of it again. And because that was my pattern, I would do really well on diets, lose weight, and keep it off for a little while, but I just couldn't sustain it because I was always hungry. When those low carb diets, I mean, with those low fat diets and the high carbs, those carbs keep you always wanting to eat something. You're never
Right.
really satisfied. I was just never satisfied. But with keto, I would eat and I was like, oh, I feel satisfied. And I eat like that was something fatty that I ate. I was allowed to eat fat, which I had a hard time with. My brain was like, you shouldn't eat that much fat. So I was kind of hungry in the beginning because I wasn't eating enough fat. And then I joined Instagram. I started following accounts, and everybody's like, eat your fat. You need to satiate your appetite. I'm like, all right, I'll eat my fat. So I started eating more fat, and I was like, oh, I feel good. Like I actually, I was not only did I feel satisfied, but I got energy. I was feeling good, energetic. So it was just a total different feeling than I've ever felt on any other type of diet.
Yeah, I always people always ask me, and I say it's not really a diet. It's like teaching your body a whole new language. It
Yeah,
really
it's
was for me because it's so, we're so used to eating carbs and all the sugars and everything, and
right.
it's just constantly in your food. You don't even know it, but you're just like, at least
You
that was the case for
realize,
me.
yeah,
Yes.
you realize how processed our food is. And I think this before we started recording, you mentioned the magic pill. Well, I had watched that on Netflix, and I was just kind of dumbfounded, by what they were saying. And I'm like, you know, talking about in the 50s how the food pyramid was developed because of this one scientist who did this cherry picking of countries that had low heart disease rates because of a low fat diet. So the our country based our food pyramid off of that. Like they did no other studying. They didn't say, are there other ways to do this? And keto had been used for medicinal reasons prior to that for people with epilepsy and stuff like that. But, we veered away from that. So I started doing and that's one thing I'd say, do your research, like read up on it, find out what it's about. It's not just losing weight, it's giving your body energy, it's healing your body, getting rid of the inflammation. I mean, it did all of that for me. Everything I've read about, it's happened. And why would I want to do anything else? Why would
No,
I go back to that?
right. So tell me, like, what is the most exciting part of this new Frank that you've created?
I really got to say that the most exciting part would be the energy level. I've always been a very lazy type of person. I was always tired. I was always lazy. I procrastinated. I didn't want to do things. But my energy level now is so different. I want to get up and do something. Like if I sit too long, I want to get up and go do something. I get now I get 10,000 steps at least every day. I make sure I get 10,000 steps. Like I never liked the gym before. I never wanted to go to the gym. I haven't been going because of COVID now, but I was, and I would go after work. And you work an 8 to 10 hour day, and then you don't want to go to the gym. But I did. I went to the gym. I went on the treadmill. So that's the most exciting part. It's my energy level and not putting stuff off and wanting to do stuff again, and not just like I could sit on the couch all day on a Saturday and just look at my iPad all day because I was so tired. But now I'm
Right.
not. Now I get up and I do stuff. I cook a lot more now. I liked cooking, but I never wanted to cook because I was just tired and lazy. I didn't want to do anything. Now I get in the kitchen, I start creating stuff, I start cooking, so it's been a whole different lifestyle change for me.
That
Different than
is
I
just
ever, right. Go ahead. I'm
that's
sorry.
great. And I see you do so many cool things to the truffles, to the chicken. What's your favorite meal to cook?
I don't know if I have a favorite meal to cook. My favorite meal to eat would either be chicken wings or it would be ribeye with some like loaded broccoli or some Brussels sprouts with bacon, something like that, which is, more of your traditional basic food. Broccoli, steak, chicken, that's all basic. And that's what I enjoy. My body enjoys that. I like to experiment. I like to make a pizza, a keto pizza. I have different ways I make it. Which is great, because if you want traditional type of food, you can still have it on keto. You just have to make it a different way. You have to come up with ingredients that are low carb and make it, but it's still just as satisfying, if not more.
Right. Talk about you've been on keto since what, 2018, basically?
Yep.
What are the biggest changes that you've seen from 2018 to 2021 that we're in now?
With keto, just like it's more mainstream, I guess. When I started keto, I didn't even really know anything about it. There were Instagram accounts out there that were doing it. But they were like, it was so much less than it is now. Now there's so many accounts out there. There's so many people doing it. I didn't see it on commercials in 2018. I didn't, you saw Atkins, you saw the South Beach diet, but you didn't really see them talk about keto. And then after like a year, I noticed you're starting to see commercials. Slim Fast came out with their keto line. You're seeing all these companies come out with products, which is great. Your company, I love your Keto Crisp, by the way. I just tried the mint chocolate one earlier, and that one is delicious. But it's stuff
Thank
like
you
that.
so much. We'll get into that in a minute. Go ahead.
But like just the availability now of keto products, which I do try to limit. I try not to, I don't want all my meal to be keto products, but the fact that I can buy keto snacks and stay on track with keto because of those snacks, I don't have to eat a, traditional sugary snack if I want something. I have these options now. We didn't have that 3 years ago. You had to make most of your snacks yourself. There were very few companies. Even the way the companies make these snacks now are so much better than they were 3 years ago, because they've learned and improved. And it's been great. I know a lot of people say it's a gimmick, it's a trend, but I lost 136 pounds and I've stuck with it, and I have no desire to go off of it. So if that's a gimmick or a trend, I'm going to stick with it.
It's incredible. The mindset, the attitude, that can-do spirit, that you can do anything, right. And it really is inspiring. That's kind of what inspired us to create the Keto Crisp. Was there was really nothing on the market that tasted great, and why should you sacrifice taste when you're right. on this journey of trying to lose weight? I mean, you got to be able to enjoy life, and so it's great to see that there's a lot more products and innovation out there today than ever, and only growing.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. When I bought your product, I was unsure. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I knew about it from Alyssa, Basic Bitch Keto on Instagram. I knew about it from her, and she always raved about them. And I was like, I'm going to buy them. So I bought them. And I was amazed. I was like, wow, these are actually, it's like a cross between a bar and a cookie. And I was like, this is awesome, So, so I can't wait to try the other ones, but they have come such a long way. Like, you had Quest bars when I started. That was about it. And some of those Quest bars were horrible, They've come a long way too, but it was just like, wow, now you have so much to choose from. Even non-treats, like just products like Real Good Foods with their frozen entrees and their sandwiches and stuff like that. There's just more options. You have, you feel like you're a normal person again. You have the options to buy some quick stuff to make, so you feel like you're doing a normal way of eating. It doesn't feel like you're doing a diet. You don't feel deprived. And that's been one of the best things, is I don't feel deprived. I always did before on other diets, but not on this one.
Right. What advice would you give to somebody that's, we talk about, New Year's resolutions and getting started, and how would you, for me, and you talked about it earlier, you kind of just basically, dipped your toe in the water, so to speak.
Right.
What, and I see you post all the time and you talk about your daily activity, and I think that's incredible. And positivity breeds positivity, and success breeds success. What advice would you give to somebody that just getting started or thinking about making a lifestyle change, as you did, and myself a few years ago?
Definitely do some research first. Like Google's your friend. Google it. There's so much information out there. A lot of people, I think, try to start it, but don't really know what they're doing, So they're just like, oh, I eat this. And then I've had people tell me something. I'm like, that's not keto because they don't understand it. So, Google it, ketogenic diet. What is it? And start simple. You have simple is better. So eat your meat, your chicken, your poultries, your fishes, your low carb veggies, some nuts. Don't eat too much nuts, but you can have nuts, cheese. That type of stuff. Start simple. Eat that. Cut out the rice, the sugar, the pasta, um, the bread. Cut that stuff out. Look at your labels. Make sure the stuff is low carb because they can sneak carbs in everything. You
Yeah.
could buy a piece of meat and think there's no carbs, and they've stuck some kind of filler in it, and now there's all these carbs. So look at your labels, and don't worry about tracking macros. Like, don't worry about counting your calories. Don't worry about, you just kind of keep an eye on your carb count. Even if you start out at like 50 grams of carbs, you might want to ease into it a little bit so your body's not in shock. Start out at
Right.
like 50 grams of carbs, work your way down to 30, then down to 20, and just start easy and gradual, and stick with it. Be consistent. Consistency is the key. If I wasn't consistent, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You
Right.
know,
I think you bring up a great point too, and just start on your own level. Don't try to, you know,
right,
do what works for you and what feels right for you. The major thing is stay away from the carbs, stay away from the
right,
sugars.
right.
Drink tons of water. I remember
Oh, definitely.
I would drink a bottle of water, and still to this day, drink a bottle of water every hour on the hour.
Got my
You
water right
know,
here if you can see it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
water's that's probably number like one or two on the list. Drink your water, get your electrolytes in because you will get keto flu, like you said. So you want to try to like ward off the keto flu. But yeah, drink your water, eat simple, be consistent, don't veer off, don't try to cheat on the weekends and be back on plan on Monday. Because I tried that.
yeah,
I tried because that's what I did with other diets. I would diet all week and then I would cheat on the weekend, go back to it. But with keto, I found I would cheat on the weekend. I would feel horrible. My stomach would
right,
hurt. I would get tired. It was because my body was getting rid of all that processed stuff and that sugar. But then I was reintroducing it on the weekend. I was messing myself up. So I don't even really go off plan too much. I do occasionally here and there, but I really don't go off plan much.
you talk about going off plan, and everybody goes off plan a little bit here and there. How do you focus on a daily basis? I mean,
Whoop, I think you cut out. I lost some sound. I think I lost connection. Sorry.
hold on.
Oh, now I
Do we
hear you.
lose you?
I had
Okay.
lost some sound there. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
So, no, it talked about, how do you stay disciplined?
Um, Part of it, like I said, I know if I eat off plan, I do feel sick. It does upset my stomach. It does. It takes me like a day or so to like feel normal again. So I buy groceries that I know will help me succeed. So I'm not going to buy stuff that I'm not going to want to eat on a daily basis. So I keep my fridge stocked with stuff. I've learned how to eat out. So if I want something, if I want to order some food, if I want to go to a restaurant, I know what to order. I know what I can go. I maybe look at the menu ahead of time online before I go to the restaurant, figure out what I want, and that just helps me stay on track. I don't get the urge to say, oh, I'm just going to get a burger with a bun today. I'm just going to wait. No, I'm not going to do that. I actually went to like a Asian buffet about a year ago. Tried to keep it low carb and keto, I thought, but there was like sugar and stuff in the food that I felt horrible the next day. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to those. I'm going to go to restaurants I know where I can be successful. So it's just I don't want to go back to where I was because that's what I've always done in the past. I'm 47 years old. I've done every diet out there. I've been dieting since I was a teenager. I don't want to keep doing that. And this is the first time I actually it's just my way of eating every day. It's
Right.
it's it's not a diet.
it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and you've done such
Right.
an incredible job for yourself, and you know how great the feeling is. You're a walking billboard for success. and,
Well,
and go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, thank you. I never intended like on Instagram to really even show my picture or my reveal my weight or anything like that. But so many other people were doing it and were inspiring me. I was seeing people show that they weighed, they lost 100 pounds and what they're eating. So I just started to share a little bit more. I was like, I did a face to face Friday picture and he said, here's my starting weight. And I started sharing more, but I was getting reactions from people and comments and people were saying, oh, you're helping me by posting this, so it just kept me going. So that really has helped me succeed as well. If I didn't do the Instagram account, I don't know how successful I'd be too, because I wouldn't, it was my accountability. I was
Hmm.
saying, here's what I ate today. Here's how much I lost in the past 2 weeks. It was my way of being accountable and it just kept me going. But then I made all these friends. I met all these people and opened up a whole new world of people to me that I had never would have met otherwise. So it's been more than just weight loss. It's been building those relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's so great. And one thing that I've noticed, and you just alluded to it, is the keto community. And whether
Right.
you're keto or not, just the wonderful friends that you met. And thankfully for Keto Crisp, I get to meet people like you, and that's one of the great things that excited me about having the opportunity to create Keto Crisp as a platform to meet people like you and to get inspiration and to stay on track, because we all need that support. You know.
Definitely. And what's been awesome about the keto companies is they've all been so friendly and interact with the people that buy their products. Like I see different, I see you interacting. I see other companies where they'll respond to a post. I see them respond to other people's posts, and it's encouraging to see that these companies, yeah, they made the product, I'm sure, because they want to make some money. Who doesn't? But they also wanted to help these people in this community stick to their goals and meet their goals. So let's give them some products they can get that can help them with that versus they're just going to get discouraged and want to go back and buy a box of, bag of Oreos somewhere and just go off plan. I don't need to go buy a bag of Oreos. I can buy a Keto Crisp. I can buy something else and I can give myself a treat every now and then without feeling all that guilt and, lethargic and tired and all that stuff. So it's been great that you guys are so friendly, with the keto community.
Yeah, no, it's really great, and thank you, and the support that we've gotten from people like you and from Alyssa and all the other fans out there. It's been incredible. It's been so rewarding. It's been so inspiring for myself my whole life.
Yeah,
It's great. Like we said, to be able to be involved and be able to connect with people. I think especially now, when we're so isolated,
yeah, right,
that connection to people is so critical. And
yeah.
uh, what
Well,
is
that's a
the
good.
go
I was
ahead.
just going to say that's a good point as well. If I didn't make this connection with the community, this year would have been so much different for me. I would have felt more isolated. I would have had social media, of course, but I wouldn't have had this community of people that I can talk to every morning. Like I I do morning chats out on my porch every morning before work because I started working from home and I had the time to actually just go for a few minutes before I logged into work and talk. But it actually connected me more with folks because prior to that, I would get on stories occasionally. I would like pop on here and there in my car or something, but I never really on a daily basis would talk to folks. And now I do that every morning. Sometimes I ramble, I'll just ramble about the weather or I'm going to go walk today, but it's just a way for people to feel, in touch with others, especially because now we're all stuck at home, or we're stuck somewhere with a mask on all day.
Right. Exactly. I think that people want that connection. I want that connection. I want to feel connected to people and to help people and to because so many people have always been there for me to be supportive. especially now we've talked about it.
Right.
We need that support. So I think it's great that you go on every day and just talk about your day, because we're all in this together.
Exactly.
So it's been great. Now with your new body over the 3 year time, what is you talked about you know your energy that you have, and your want to get up and go. What's your favorite workout?
My most, I guess it would be my most consistent workout would be walking. So walking has been, it's probably my favorite because it does more than just exercise, but it gives me that stress relief. So, when this pandemic started in March, I had some bouts of anxiety going on at home because I didn't know what was going on. Like, there's this virus out there. I don't know, will I catch it? I don't want to go to the store. So it made me very anxious. And I hadn't had that anxious feeling for quite a long time because of keto. Keto really helped my anxiety. I had horrible anxiety several years back. I was on medication for it. Thankfully, I'm off that medication now. But what I found is I started walking at lunch because I had the freedom now at home to go take a walk outside for 30 minutes and then go log back into work and finish my day. But it relieved that anxiety. I was like, oh, I feel good. I'm out here in the fresh air. I'm relieving stress. I can clear my head, and that's really been my favorite workout is walking. Um, I miss using weight machines at the gym. So I was going to Planet Fitness. I was using the weight machines. I was really starting to get into it. And the reason I was starting to like that is I do have a disability in my left arm. So I have some limited range of motion with my left arm. But I found that I was able to use some of these machines and still do some things. And it was making me feel more confident about just my disability that I've always had since birth. So that's probably another thing I really enjoy doing. I miss that. So I do try to do this, like I do these modified push-ups against my kitchen counter. I kind of lean forward and I do some push-ups that way. And I've noticed that even if I veer off of doing that for a while and I start back up, the strength in my arms builds up much quicker than it ever used to. And I attribute that to keto because of the protein. Protein builds muscle, and I think that really helps me recover quickly. So those two things are really what I look forward to doing is my walking and some arm exercises, however I can get that in.
That's great. What I'm just curious. I have cerebral palsy and use an electric wheelchair for mobility. What? Tell me more about your unique situation with your arm.
So I was a pretty big baby when I was born. I was 11 and a half pounds. So
Wow.
my mother, they didn't do a C-section on her. So again, this was 47 years ago. So things were different back then. Um, Her doctor was questionable too. We found out later, there was some issues with him, but he didn't do a C-section. So he tried to pull me out because I was so large. He pulled on my left shoulder and damaged the nerves. And it's called Erb's palsy. There's another name for it, brachial plexus or something like that. I can never remember but Erb's
I'm going
palsy
to
is
hold
the
you to that, Frank. No,
it's
I'm kidding.
that's the old name for it, Erb's palsy, and it's just he damaged the nerves. So the arm, my range of motion in my arm is limited. I can move it and but I can't lift it up over my head. I can lift things, but I just if I need to reach up high off of a shelf, I can only do it with one arm. Um, I've learned to compensate over the years. We all learn to compensate. I'm sure you're familiar as well.
Of course.
But it affects your mental space at times. It affects your confidence, and it did. And I think part of that's been part of my problem with weight is I was never like a sports person because I didn't think I could do sports because of that injury to my arm. But what I found after doing keto and going to the gym, like I said, I started using weight machines. Now I can't use them all. There are ones I can't use at all because my arm will do that. But I found that I could use some, and I was building strength in this arm that I didn't even realize had in this arm. So it's been, like I said, it's been more than just weight loss. It's been about building your confidence, about building your energy, realizing I am capable of doing things when I didn't think I was capable. So took me a long time to get there, but I finally figured it out after all these years.
It's certainly the can-do spirit. That's definitely the case.
Exactly.
I always, you know, growing up, I never looked at life as why is me. I just took it as an opportunity to educate. All I wanted to do was just be like everybody else and have a great time. Life is so
Right.
much fun, and it's so great to have an opportunity to be out there with everybody. I was just so happy and grateful, to be able to do whatever I could do, and I
Yeah.
never
And
looked at my Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm envious of that attitude because I did have that little bit of a why me type of thing when I was younger. Part of it's kids. Kids are cruel. They can make
Yes.
fun. And, in gym, because of the way my arm is, I tend to I wouldn't move it when I would run. So I looked a little different when I ran because I had to consciously think to move my arm when I would run.
Right.
And people were like, why are you doing that? Because sometimes they don't realize until they see a certain motion that there's something going on with my arm. So I'm kind of jealous of that you had that positive attitude from day one. I had to build up to that. So I'm glad now I have it.
Right. I gotta for that. I gotta thank my parents and my family and my friends. They were always
Yeah,
encouraging me. And
that's awesome.
when people would look at me and stare, I would say, hey guys, thanks. Let me tell you about it, because if I was in their shoes, I would probably look and stare also. So I took it as a
Yeah,
platform. I took it as an opportunity to educate. Hey, listen, I'm just like you. I'm just
right.
coming at it from a different lens. You
Exactly.
know.
And that's
So,
awesome. I mean, and you know, you're my mother was always very encouraging as well. It's just it was me. I think we all process things differently.
of
Maybe
course.
maybe it's the level of handicap too. Like it was part of my body, but other parts of my body didn't have an issue. I don't know. I just had a hard time for a long time, like getting that comfort and balance. But now it's like I think too, as you get older, you don't care anymore,
Right.
and I don't really like whatever, it's who I am. It's made me who I am. And I've learned to compensate, and you've learned to compensate, and you've learned to look, you created a company, you
Right.
know, I
Well,
had never created a company. So that's awesome.
we created a company. I'm just happy to be a part of it, and so happy to have you on. Yeah, I have to ask you about your Instagram. It's so creative, and you put so many great music and tunes to it. How did you? You've probably gone from 0 followers to almost 20,000. That's incredibly impressive.
that That's been crazy. So it's been a very gradual type of like some Instagram accounts blow up overnight. Like they just something about that person. I was a very slow starter with it. Like I just posted food. I didn't post any pictures. I didn't really do many stories. But as my confidence, like I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel better. I'm losing weight. I lost 50 pounds, in the 2 years ago. It's like, oh, so I just started gradually. I started being more comfortable with talking to people. Like I would watch people's accounts, but I wouldn't interact with them because I was afraid. I'm like, they're not going to talk to me. And I got thrown off by the number. Like they might have like 10,000 followers. They're not going to talk to me. They don't give a crap about me. But I started being more confident, and then I became friends with some of these folks, and I've met some of them, and started sharing more. And somehow this last year, my account blew up to what it is now, and I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know why people follow me because sometimes I'm
Well,
like
you're
I'm just
such a
this old.
personable guy. People can relate to you.
Well,
They love
I
you.
don't know.
You're
I don't know. I
having
just feel
fun.
like
You're
yeah,
authentic. You
and
had a flair with it with your music. People love to check in with Frank on a daily basis. What's he gonna say?
the fact that
Yeah,
that I do that in my stories, I find that impressive that you actually watched my stories. Like I don't
of
I don't look
course.
well, I don't even look at the number of people who watch my stories. I barely go into the archive and look at that because it kind of weirds me out a little bit because I feel like I'm in a room with all these people. So I have to like block that out of my head. I just pop on hold my phone up and I start talking and I'm just like if somebody wants to watch it, they'll watch it. If they want to skip out, but the whole music thing, it started with quarantine. I It started because of the rain. So in March when we quarantined, it was raining like every day. I was like, this sucks. I'm stuck at home in self isolation. It's raining every day. And then so I would like I'm like, it's raining again today. And then I would start putting music to it. And then one day we had sunshine. And I'm like, look, so I scanned my yard and showing the sunshine. And it just became a daily thing. So every morning now, I pick a new song, I show what the weather looks like, and then I start talking, you know.
Right, like today,
So
what was it? 30? Where are you? Are you in the
I'm in Delaware, so
okay,
East Coast,
got
near
it, got it.
Pennsylvania and Maryland and all those. Yeah, where are you at?
I'm in Southern California.
Southern. Oh, okay. Oh, so you have nice weather.
Yeah, I've been here for 4 years. Before that, I lived 22 years in Arizona, and then before that,
Oh,
I lived in Michigan. And my parents always encouraged
oh,
me to go somewhere warm to go to college, and I
oh.
was just,
Okay.
I had a chance to visit Arizona, and it was sunny every day, and I love the sun.
I
It's
liked Arizona. I visited there. I went to Las Vegas 5 years ago or so, and drove to um, Hoover Dam and all that stuff, and drove. Actually, we actually drove into Death Valley in California as well. That was
yeah,
awesome. Have you ever driven through
yeah,
Death Valley?
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little
It's so
freaky because
desolate. Yes,
you lose your internet connection, so you get a little nervous. It's like, what if I get stuck out here? But so many people are driving around out there that somebody would find you eventually, I guess. But
yes.
yeah,
It's definitely cool being out on the West Coast. My sister actually lives in Connecticut, so I'm back there, 3 4 times a year. Obviously, with COVID not being able to travel, it's been haven't been much of any place. But I like the East Coast as well, especially in the summer. It's so green and you know,
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's nice.
I'm sure you don't miss the winters in Michigan though. Michigan's terrible for.
Not not at all, not at all. Um, and you think like, why would people want to live in that snow and that cold? It's just crazy. But
Yeah, I've been pretty
maybe,
lucky. I was gonna
yeah,
say I've been pretty lucky. The weather's been pretty mild. I mean, we've had some 20, 30 degree days, but it warms up a little bit more throughout the day. So it's like in the 30s or 40s. Today it's in the 50s, so it's been a lot nicer.
great.
Yeah.
What's next for you, Frank? Like, what do you like? Are you at a good weight? I mean, obviously you're at a good weight. What? Talk to me about what's next. What's next? What do you?
I want to lose another 10 pounds, like 10 to 12 pounds. And I think then I might put myself in maintenance. I'm not sure. I weigh 241, 242 right now. So I'd like to get down to 230. Uh, that'll be where I was about 15 years ago when I lost some weight on Weight Watchers. I lost like 77 pounds. I gained all that back.
Wow,
Plus,
that's incredible.
I gained like double that back though. Um, so I'd like to get down to 230, and then I was happy at that weight. So I think that would be a comfortable weight. If I lose more, then fine, because I can always afford to lose more. But I won't really push as hard to try and lose more when I get to 230. Right now, I'm like tracking my macros and trying to get exercise in every day just to help get down to that number. But once I'm there, I don't know. I'm going to definitely maintain. I'm going to definitely stay keto. I have no intention ever not. I know if I stop keto, I'm going to just go back to where I was. I'm going to eat carbs. I'm going to gain all the weight back, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to stick with keto. I don't feel deprived, so why do something different? Other than
I,
that, I don't know. I mean, I work a 9 to 5 job every day at a bank, so I'll continue to
right.
do that. But yeah,
You
I
know,
don't know.
we so much you talked about the weight loss that you lose on keto. Educate me a little bit on the maintenance aspect of it. Once you do get to your supposed weight you want to be at, how does the lifestyle change? And I don't really know that, to be honest with you. I just continue to stay away from the carbs and sugars as much as possible, and just kind of keep my
Yeah.
exercise and go ahead.
I feel like at times I've been in maintenance throughout this quarantine. So I think I don't really know because I haven't done maintenance yet, but I would assume, and I've seen other people do it. There's other accounts out there that are doing it. Probably allow myself a little bit more calories in the day. I could probably eat a keto treat on a daily basis and not worry about it. Like right now, I limit my keto treats just because I know that can stall you if you do too much. But if I get stalled in maintenance, that's fine because I'm not trying to lose. But I will definitely weigh myself every day still, make sure I don't start gaining weight because I know what my bubble is. So if I stay within like a 2 to 4 pound bubble of my low weight, I'm usually pretty good. Like I know I'll lose more weight eventually. I'll be okay. Maybe my bubble will be like 5 pounds, 5 or 6 pounds. As long as I stay within that bubble, I'll maintain my weight. I don't know. It's going to be trial and error when I start because I've never done it.
Right.
All my maintenance in the past for past diets, I've gained the weight back. So I was really never in maintenance.
Well, I know this time around it's going to be completely different. I can hear it
I
in
do
your
too.
voice,
Yeah.
and you've said it, over and over. You never go back to that again, and your body has been trained. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so motivating. Yeah, it's awesome to talk to you, Frank.
Thank you. It's been great talking to you too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, thank you for having
Yeah.
me as your first guest.
No, you're welcome. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm curious about your company, how you started. Are you partners with anybody, or is it you solo?
No,
I
we
don't.
actually, my brother's been in marketing and branding for about 25 years. And, you know, I, I had come out to California to help my brother rehab from a major injury. And
Oh
we had
wow.
a friend who was a physical therapist and, uh, you know, kind of cooked for us at night because we couldn't go out to dinner. And so he would come over a couple nights a week and he would say, Adam, we'd love to get you into the pool. And we started doing some really, really cool things in the pool. And I was like,
Huh.
His name is Gabe. And I said, Gabe, this is great. And I'm really excited, because I could walk and I could move my legs. And I always thought, wanted to be able to be more mobile. But he's like, Adam, if you really want to dial this thing in, we've got to change your diet. And that's
Mm,
really how the keto thing started. And my brother Noah said, we looked around. I would go into the grocery store. I'm very observant. I'm not much of a cook like yourself, and I have to have like things that I can go into a store and buy. And I really
right.
noticed an opportunity for a great tasting snack bar because I tried certain keto products. No disrespect to anybody, but I have a certain kind of palate that I expect things to taste good. Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
put it in your mouth, why do you want it to taste like garbage? So
Right.
like we
Exactly.
literally we contacted a food manufacturer. We said we're looking for this. We'd like, let's start with 3 flavors. We know how popular a chocolate flavor is, so let's have 2 chocolate flavors with the chocolate raspberry and the chocolate mint. But Noah and I, my brother, we're not huge chocolate fans. We prefer a vanilla flavor. So we're like, let's throw an almond butter in there. And so we literally would just try certain flavor profiles
Oh
until we
wow.
got it right. Till we got it right, and then like
Yeah.
I would literally go to local retailers and say, "Hey guys, will you try my bar? Will you try it? I've lost, you know, 25 pounds, on this keto diet, and it's starting to get some traction in keto space." And we would just do demos and just constantly get out there and boom, it
Yeah.
kind of just took off. You never know in life until you try, and so we just basically got out there and tried it, and the response has been overwhelming, and
Yeah. It's
we're
awesome.
just we're just super excited. So if you would have told me 2.5 years ago I'd be in the bar business, Frank, I would tell you're crazy. But
Are
my
you?
passion. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you going to come out with any other kind of products besides the bars? Do you have secret
Uh,
stuff in the works?
we've always got innovation in the pipeline. You always got to be thinking ahead, and the biggest thing is the ability to listen to your customers, and that's the number one thing. And especially with this new plant-based bar, when I would go in and we would go in and demo, people would say, "Do you have any plant-based options?" Because I don't eat. There's the whey crisps in the bar. So, just listening to what customers are asking for, you come up with innovation and different ideas. So we're always looking to improve and want to bring innovation to everyone. So, it constantly evolves, and we've certainly got some things in the works for sure.
Awesome. I love the almond butter one, the almond butter chocolate chip.
Yes.
That's the first box I bought, and that one's delicious. I love those. And I bought them when I started tracking throughout the week, and I was limiting my snacks until the weekend, and I had to wait all week to have one because I was like, I told myself no keto treats during the week, so I waited, and finally, come Saturday, I was like, ate it, and I was like, these are good. These are really good. So,
well, that's great. Again, so thankful and just excited to be in the space. I'm so impressed with the keto community just in general and the support that people give each other and just the satisfaction of looking good, feeling good. It's really contagious.
It is definitely. Yeah. It amazed me, because in the beginning, like I said, I was very nervous about talking to anybody, interacting, and I started interacting with people and they would respond and they were so friendly, and I would ask a question and they would answer it, and I'm like, wow, these people are nice, because you kind of, I don't know, I guess we're used to TV and celebrities, and you see, and you're watching somebody every day on your phone, you think, you kind of equate them to a celebrity, and then you start talking to them, it's like, oh, they're just like me. They're just working their 9-to-5 job. They're on here sharing their journey, and and it's been great.
It's fun. People, we all inspire each other in one way, shape, or form. And
definitely,
you've certainly inspired me and so many other people. And I'm happy for you. I think it's incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm just so thankful to be able to connect with you and now call you a friend.
Yes, definitely. Now we're friends. See, that's what I love about the community. You meet and you get more friends, because you can never have too many friends, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly. And it doesn't cost you anything to be nice and to have a smile on your face. It's much more fun to be happy than sad.
Especially, we found that out this year. I mean, there's a lot of angry people out there right now, and I don't know why people are like that. Like, just treat people the way you want to be treated. Make friends, enjoy your life. Enjoy the company of others. Because unfortunately, a lot of it has to be through Zoom now. So
right. Well, again, thank you so much, Frank. For those that want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
They can go to Instagram, and it's at frankly.keto. Or I'm sorry, at frankly_keto. So it's FRANKLY_keto. Can't even remember my own Instagram handle, but
it's okay, buddy. It's all right. That's why I wanted you to say it and not me, because I didn't want to. Didn't want to.
That's right. I messed up my own.
No, it's okay. We're gonna edit this thing. It's gonna be great. So just in closing, thanks so much, Frank, for being on the first CanDo podcast. It was a real
thanks
success.
For having me.
It was so awesome to have you on, and your story is just absolutely incredible. I wish I could reach through the phone and give you a fist pump, but I'm going to do it through the screen there. And just have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening, and always just keep in touch. And thanks so much for the support every day. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on here, Adam. Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
You as well, my man. Thank you so much.
All right.
Take care, buddy. Thank you.
You too.